I always stare at my stuff.
You
and
know,
I notice every little thing. If I get a scratch, I'm like,
Huh.
You're kind of weird about that.
Yeah, but at the
though.
end of the season, you're probably like, let's just, the car's running.
See, I just don't care. You get a scratch on it, it's not a big deal.
If I buy a new car, I'm going to go put a scratch on it. Then it's done.
Yes,
I don't
right.
worry about
and
it
do
anymore.
it yourself,
When I
right?
bought
So
my new
nobody
Trans
else.
Am, I did that. I keyed my own car accidentally. And I said, well, that's done. So
Dave.
I rubbed up against it with my...
He calls it the Malibu Barbie car.
Malibu Barbie.
I like the anodized look on his chrome wheels, that kind of that pink chrome.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Sweet.
That's a neat car. I like it.
Dwarf cars.
Oh, God, I love that class. They're so much fun.
It was fun watching them all drop off like they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
Josh King was looking for night number 1. He came in with 3 consecutive features, looking for his 4th in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Broke early. I'm not sure what broke. Do you remember, Gary? Something happened to that car.
I don't recall
He
either.
pulls. Oh, no. He told me there was something on the right front corner. I think it was a tie rod, something.
Tie rod, I believe.
And he just under caution, they got the 1 to go. They're coming to get the green. He whips off to the right in turn 3 where you come on the track, goes out to his pit area, and thank God the benefactor of another caution as they went green, didn't get a lap completed, pulls off, and they had an extended caution for whatever reason. I think 2 of them, and they got that car fixed. And he pulls back on from the back of the pack and drives all the way to 2nd place. His win streak was snapped by Camden Robustelli. Now remember, Robustelli had 1 win, the first race of the year. And then Brock Peters got a win. And then it's been Josh King from that point on. 3 straight wins. So night number 1 of the R. Charles, he comes back out and drives to a 2nd place finish behind Camden Robustelli. Now it's 3-2, right? Robustelli has 2 wins. Should have 4, given the fact he broke twice while leading. Substantial leads, right? So now it's 3-2. And he says in his interview on night number 1, they made a change to their injectors. I don't know what they changed. They put new ones in or found something wrong with the ones they had. I don't know. But that car came to life. And he wins. Night number 2, he comes out and backs that up with another win. Now it's 3-3. Okay, we've got 1 race left for the Dwarf cars, and it's championship night. Wouldn't it be something if Robustelli won that and finished 2nd in points? It could happen. That could absolutely, he could end up with 4 wins to Josh King's 3 and finish 2nd in points. It is going to be interesting to watch what happens with that class because there's a new guy. I won't say new guy, but there's a new guy up front. Did anybody watch the 76 car of Shane Hines? This is a guy that has been, I'm not going to say a field filler. I'm not going to say average, but he's been upper half of the pack this year. And all of a sudden, after Cody Peters goes out and hot laps his car, the 76 machine is a factor to win. He was wicked fast. Faster than that car's been all year. And both nights he was there in the top 3, top 4. I don't know what Cody Peters found. Hot lap in that car, whatever they changed, was big time because a 76 car, he could win on championship night as fast as he was. Has anybody noticed the number 4 of Joseph Sanders? Here's a guy in the first half of the season, up until last night or this last weekend, that car was, and I don't mean this in a bad way, was average at best. It wasn't a top 5 car. All of a sudden, He's running second and third with these guys this weekend, and he's just every bit as fast as the Peters boys, as Robustelli, as Josh King. I don't know what they found on that car, but man, oh man, that number 4 machine all of a sudden is a real threat to win a race. This division it's strong, and the racing they put on, I know Sandy loves it. I mean, I think we all enjoy watching these cars because
very much
the speed.
They're fast.
They don't have to slow down. You know, the track's big enough and the corners are long enough at the ways.
And they're banked enough that, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way
I like it when they go 4 wide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty exciting.
You know, there's so many good cars. I sometimes don't know who to video.
Yeah.
Well, how do you keep? Because you'll see
just,
guys go from first to third, back to first, back to second, up to first, back to fourth. It's unbelievable
2 or 3
racing.
challenges going on at the same time, and so I'm going from each one to, and it's just sometimes it gets difficult.
We did capture some video with the dwarf cars that I promise you we won't release. But it was
yeah, showing some love.
Oh no, we have to release that.
To him,
no,
maybe.
No.
It's,
I will not release that
would
video.
release it
That
just
was
to that driver.
That driver, yeah.
That driver can do what he wants with
Just
it.
saying,
Email that to that
everybody's
driver.
Well, you know
looking.
what? Here's the
Put this
deal.
on your wall.
If that driver releases it, I suppose that would be fine. But he
Yeah.
was just letting the guy know that he was number 1. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know what's
Yeah.
wrong with that.
Very
with that.
special
They won't
number
say who
1.
did it.
Yeah.
It reminded me of watching old ESPN back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yes.
the camera zooming in on the driver.
When the drivers were, I want to say when they were men, they weren't robots that
See,
are
I
trained.
like this. Yes.
You know, when now you get these interviews,
We should
these
just
young
release it,
drivers.
Dave.
I want to thank so and so. You know, the so and so Chevy was really good, and and thank and they rattle off these. Everybody says the same thing. You don't see guys. You don't see Earnhardt and Stewart anymore. You don't see the bad boy that everybody loves to hate, the Darrell Waltrip, the Cale Yarboroughs, the Allisons. You don't see that anymore. You see a bunch of young, rich robots. And when I almost said his name. When he did what he did, I just thought, man, you know, on top of it being so funny,
It was.
it was just because
He was just frustrated.
what was funny was Dave just happened to put the camera on
Right
that
then.
car
Gosh,
and zoom in.
so
All of a sudden, the
funny.
door opens and out comes the big number 1. And you know what I mean when I say the big number 1. It was kind of like, oh man, that's that's
How many times we watched it on the drive home?
I think
quite a few times.
times.
It was
I
funny.
watched it a ton of times.
Actually, I think the guy was just stretching his arm.
He was in a
His arm
very
was tired. He was
jerky
stretching.
manner.
He was letting
No.
the safety crew know he was okay.
Yeah.
Nope. He was straight flipping the bird.
Just
That's what he was doing.
we just let everybody know that when you stop on the track, I'm going to stay on you for a minute. just to
You
see
might,
what
yeah.
happens. I do that every time.
We were told to watch
And
the wrecks,
I
just
find out a
FYI.
lot of strange
Yeah.
things.
You know.
When I do close-ups on the drivers when they're, especially those guys, because I could zoom right into the cabin as they're going around.
you
and
can
you
see
see some-
everything. You're
Oh,
right
yeah.
inside
How
there.
many drivers listening right now are going, oh,
So
God, this
Yeah.
is pick my
be
nose.
aware.
What did he get on
Yes,
me?
I
If he
did
does
take a
something
picture of
strange,
that,
you
but
know,
it's just not released.
For a fee, I will send
Yeah.
it to you.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
It was awesome. It was comical. You know.
Yeah.
It was done with such class. I mean,
There's a lot
that's
of
the
good
thing.
stuff.
It just looked classy the way he did it.
He
It was
did.
that slow opening of the door, you know. It
Waited
was
till he came back
the
around.
arm coming out, going up, and it was
And
perfect.
3 pumps with the bird out the
Yeah.
window. Yeah.
Yeah, then
was-
he shuts the door and
and
just,
goes back to his
And
business.
then they
what
just
I
went.
expected when I saw the door start to come open, I go, oh, this is going to be a helmet throwing thing.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
like-
I'm waiting for this helmet to come out, but
It
No,
never
he
did,
didn't
which
do
is
that.
good because when I see the doors open, I think, oh, please don't get out on the track.
Well, and that
Please
was
don't
my
do
first
that.
thought when I saw him open the door. I thought, do not get out of that race car.
yeah, I'm thinking
This
don't.
never ends up good.
No.
And that's a track rule everywhere you go. You do
Yep.
not get out of your race car on the track. You don't.
Yeah. It
Um,
was just a part
It was
of his
comical,
body.
I thought.
I thought it was hilarious.
Imagine
I've
how
watched that
funny
thing.
it'd be if he jumped on the other person's car because it's just, so
So
small.
if anybody knows that driver, just have him contact us and we'll get
No,
him a little piece
just-
of the
we'll
action.
contact him.
We'll
you know what?
contact
Just,
him and send him the video
Okay.
clip.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
That'd be funny.
just for fun, we'll send him that. And
Yeah.
Just
And
do
say-
a DM.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do a DM and
Yeah.
we'll get that
call
done.
it good.
Let me ask you guys. Hold on. this weekend. I can't ask Nina and I can't ask Gary because they haven't had the experience yet. But did you guys not think you were at the Budweiser Nationals?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
with the amount of cars that we had, and then you look at the racing service from night 1 to night 2.
Well, you didn't end up in the ER this time. It did take you a day to recover, but it was no emergency room.
Right.
So I think Bud Nationals, but it was, yes.
But when we got to the track, and we all got there fairly early on day 2, we're up in the R. Charles Snyder Tower.
That is exactly what we'll do at Bud Nationals since it's a 2-day show and we're down there.
And we're watching track prep. Mm-hmm. Gary and I had a discussion about this. We're watching the prep, and I look at Gary and I said, these guys better be changing their setup right now.
Uh-huh.
Because we knew, looking down on it, we knew exactly what that track was going to do. The way they watered it, number one, they used a lot less water than they did the night before.
I was told they requested it.
And the way they graded it. The way they graded it, it went from the bottom to the top and back to the bottom. But they went probably 3 inches deep. They got into the hard stuff. They packed it. And he was crushing stuff with the grader, the wheels and tires. While he was doing that, Dave and I are on the track walking around, picking up rocks and debris and throwing it off the track. And we had a good look at the racetrack. I knew what was coming. I knew that track was going to be hard, slick, and smooth. And, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I thought night number 2 created some awesome racing.
Yeah.
So.
In every division.
And that's what happens at the Bud Nationals. The racing surface from the first night to the second night, absolutely completely different.
Now, I did think there'd be a lot more top racing, though, than there was, except for Chadwick.
Mm-hmm.
But
right.
there was. That was the thing. There was traction up top. There just wasn't enough. Not many guys were willing to step up there and try it. The few guys that did picked up some spots.
Some of them.
Some of them lost some spots.
Lost a few spots, too.
But you have to here's the thing. Folger lost those spots because when he decided to make that move to the high side, they were already almost to the apex of turn 1. Right. It's too late. It's too late. When you step up to the high side, everybody else is carrying that momentum.
Mm-hmm.
You've gone to the high side of the wrong place. Should have been a little higher on the entry to carry that momentum. If you wanted to get down, you could. He stepped out trying to get him on the exit, and it cost him 3 spots. Everybody else saw that and just
said,
in.
"Oh, forget that. I don't think I'll do that one."
But, Chadwick passed cars in 2 or 3 different lines.
You notice the line he was taking, though, when how he was entering 3 and 1.
Smart. Absolutely smart how he did it.
It didn't require much for him to get through there. It was all momentum.
He was set up for the exit as soon as he got into the corner. Mm-hmm. And he could keep that momentum up. And like I said, it was smooth. It was a masterful job of driving. I thought it was a masterful job of track prep, honestly.
I do too.
I mean, and I've said it 100 times.
I think a lot of guys were wishing for that track most of all the season. But
I think you're right. Because it takes away from equipment. Yeah. It puts it more in the hands of what's in the seat, the talent in the seat. And I think we all, even as fans, like that. The speed isn't nearly what you get like you did on night number 1, but you don't get tore up race cars. Yep. Most of the time. We did have some.
Well, body damage. I mean, you think about the sliding around out there.
Right. We didn't see any broken rims or drive lines, but you see talent. And for me, as a race fan and an announcer, that's what I love to watch. Yeah, that's the kind of racetrack you'll find out who can and can't drive. I think that 83 car put on a clinic.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what's scary is he's going back to pick up 2 new cars.
Yeah.
He's going back to get a couple of the new cars, and I want to say they were in Iowa, and then he's heading over to Arkansas. No, he's going back to Arkansas to get them. They're going to run the Hope 74 race. That's a big deal that's put on by Mark Martin. Big race put on by Mark Martin. I think he's going to do well. I hope he does well. I hope he reps the West Coast well, and I think he will. He's got enough talent. He's got good equipment, got a good crew. it'd be good to see